And you're coming in a little broken. Can you say again? Over. Yeah, we are scheduled down to 5-minute increments, very busy from about 7:30 in the morning. We have a meeting, and 7:30 in the evening we have an evening. And between those hours, we're scheduled, as I said. Our prime task is to perform science, and we usually have someone on the ground who's familiar with the experiment helping to talk us through that. But we also have to live up here, so we also have to maintain the space station. We have to clean it. We have to take care of each other if anyone's not feeling well or sick. So because of that, we also have to do several other things throughout the day. Over. Andrea, the weather is very controlled up here. We keep the humidity around 30-40% humidity. Temperature usually somewhere around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, about 21 or so degrees Celsius. And so it's very controlled. When I return to Earth, I will say we've been watching the weather up here and seeing the storms and things like that. And from up here, I've seen a couple hurricanes, and they look kind of beautiful, but I know down on the Earth they can be very destructive, so it's a different perspective. Over. Carolina, I think the greatest sacrifice has been to my family. I have two twin girls and a husband, and I'm away from them for half a year to be here, and also just throughout my time in the military leading up to coming to NASA, did a lot of deployments where I was away from friends and family. Over. Donna, I do believe life exists. Humans are incredibly special. Just the fact that we can create something like the International Space Station and travel to space, but I do think there's probably life of some form. Up here I can see the universe is just so expansive and so vast, and to think that there's nothing else living out there seems unimaginable to me. Over. Stephanie, I think something I'm really passionate about in my career is just the aspect of exploration and pushing boundaries. Every time we've done that, and we continue to do that up here with our experiments on the International Space Station, and as we venture back to the moon with Artemis, every time we explore and push the boundaries, we learn more about our home planet, we discover technologies that end up helping us, and I just think it's human nature to explore. Over. Paula, I think the biggest mental or physical challenge, I'd probably say mental challenge, when we're scheduled, as I said, very detailed down to the 5 minutes, and if I fall behind on that, I get, very invested sometimes in the experiments we're doing, and the other day I was doing an experiment I really cared about and got behind schedule, and we had to cancel it for the day, and then to me, that's really hard when I feel like I got behind on something and caused us to not be able to do part of our mission. Over. Esteban, I think one of the most surprising moments was actually when I first got to the International Space Station. We've trained probably hundreds of hours on the mock-ups on the ground, but it turns out when you look at something upside down or sideways, it looks completely different. And I first got up here, and I didn't even know where I was or which way I was going, and that to me was really a lesson on just how important perspective can be and how much things can change with a different perspective. Over. Roberto, I think it sounds silly maybe, but a moment for me that was really special was when I first got up here. There were 11 of us on board, and we were from 5 different countries, and just getting together and having a meal and sharing this moment of being in space, orbiting above the Earth, the views that we have, and sharing that with people from all over the world, but it felt like we were just brothers and sisters. Over. Ivana, I think definitely continue to do those science and technology competitions. Something I tell people is don't ever do something just because you want to work at NASA. Do things because you're passionate about them and you love them, and I think the path will define itself. Over. Nicholas, I wish I could describe to you when you look back on the Earth from here and see our planet, it is so incredibly beautiful compared to, the black is just a couple spots of light out there, and just being up here with, as I said, people from all different nations, makes you value our whole planet and value unity and harmony. Over. Angela, that's a great question. I think a lot of people think about astronauts and they think about the technical expertise and that stuff, but something that's also really important is we're living with just, a few other crewmates for long periods of time in a fairly confined area. We can't just go outside to get air when we want. We're kind of stuck up here together. So really something that's really important is being a good teammate and being a leader when you need to be a leader and being a follower when you need to be a follower. And of course, being healthy and strong are really important as well. Over. Daniel, I say for a long time it was the Saturn V, the rocket that brought the astronauts to the moon. But now we're in a very exciting time where we're developing a lot of new rockets to include the Space Launch System that NASA's developing, the SLS, as well as the Starship that SpaceX is developing. So there are a lot of really powerful rockets, more powerful than ever before, to bring us back to the moon. Over. Lisa, my interest in space was sparked when I was just in elementary school. I did a book report on Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in space, a Russian cosmonaut, and that is when I first decided I wanted to become an astronaut. And it took I think that was almost 30 years ago now, and I finally made it to space. And in that time in between, I studied hard. I studied aerospace engineering in college and did my graduate degree, and then joined the military and was a test pilot and eventually applied to NASA. Over. Joshua, it's amazing when you first get up here. It is so overwhelming because basic things like going to the bathroom or getting around or eating food all seem very foreign to you doing it in zero gravity. It's a steep learning curve, but you quickly adapt and you learn that you could see things from different angles and how to anchor yourself down without gravity. But things as simple as unpacking a bag become very difficult when you don't have gravity to hold things down. Over. Pedro, my first time, so I